You gotta wear pants.
I guess, yeah. Sure. Bringing them. It'd be kind of weird going to a baseball field, don't wear pants.
Oh, is it on the baseball field? You guys
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate you all. I'll be sharing my screen and getting us started. In 1 second.
Hi, this is Teresa Jackson speaking. I'm having an issue with being visual. Working on it as we speak. As soon as I can get it straight, you'll see who I am. And until
No
then,
problem.
yeah, my name will be there. But I'm here, and I'll go ahead and mute back.
No problem. Looking forward to it. So thank you everyone for actually taking this time. Happy Friday to be here. So this is our second webinar series, part of the Entrepreneur Roadmap. This one is called Mastering Your Marketing Plan. Before I get started, I just want to open up the floor for Watson Bruce, our CEO here at BCL, to say some words about BCL. And I'm not sure if our director, Bonnie Crockett, wants to say a few words, but I just want to open up the floor for them.
Okay, sure. Well, good afternoon, everyone. And thank you, Asoko. We appreciate you coordinating this meeting, this webinar. But first of all, we want to welcome everyone for taking time out of your busy schedule this afternoon to attend this very important training. Because everyone needs marketing, and but not everyone understands marketing. So we want to thank our presenters for partnering with Baltimore Community Lending. We thank you for the time you have for allotted for this weekend to share with us. So again, thank you to the folk team that planned and coordinated this meeting. So welcome, and please be engaged, because that's the only way you're going to learn. You have to put everything on hold, don't multitask, because people tend to be checking the emails while the presenter is speaking. So be engaged if you're going to learn. And thank you. And I'll turn it back over to Asoko and
Yes,
Bonnie.
I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Bonnie, do you want to introduce BCL, maybe talk a little bit about our program?
Sure. So Baltimore Community Lending has been around since 1989. We were originally formed as an agency of Baltimore City to make real estate construction loans for affordable housing. And then in the early 2000s, we became a standalone 501c3 and a community development financial institution, CDFI. If you hear the term CDFI, nobody knows what it means. Even our borrowers who have loans from us don't know what it means. But it means that we are devoted to the community and serving disinvested business owners and communities. In 2018, we rolled out our small business lending program. We first looked at what the barriers to lending were for small businesses in Baltimore. And it turned out that consistently, from all of our feedback, that the number one barrier to small business lending was personal wealth. Essentially, from $5,000 and up, you need 100% collateral for small business loans. So we designed our program around that. We make loans to startups from 10 to 50,000 and to existing businesses up to 150,000, no collateral required. To reduce risk, since we're not requiring collateral, we do ask all of our applicants to go through a small business training program. It's free. It's one-on-one. We meet you where you are and help you write a business plan and get your financials together and understand rules and regulations that could apply to your business in Baltimore. So we rolled out this program, this is our second time, as Suko said, we rolled out this program as an addition to the training and counseling that we already provide. Once a month, we're going to hold these sessions utilizing an online platform called Initiate Prosperity, to which we subscribe. And we're going to highlight a couple of features or subject matters that they go over once a month, each month. It's open to our clients and to anyone else who is interested. It is free. So please spread the word. We are always trying to highlight training issues that affects everybody and that we get a lot of questions about. Financials and marketing being the two most popular questions. So last month was financials. This month we're talking about marketing, and we will continue to offer these every month. So join our mailing list and you will be notified every time a new subject comes up. Enjoy this. Atsuko, thank you so much for organizing and running this project. And enjoy, and I'll be here listening and we'll take any questions in the end if you have any for me.
Okay. Thank you, Bonnie. Okay, all right. So can everyone see my screen? I just want to make sure there's no technical difficulty. We're all good?
Yes.
All right. So today's agenda, I'll try my best to be brief because I know the presenters have a whole lot of information to share. So as mentioned, I would like to introduce Initiate Prosperity to all of us. I'll be giving a little visual representation. I'll actually go on the website. And what I want to do is everyone who registers for this webinar, you'll be getting an invitation to have access to the platform for free. You should be receiving that as soon as possible. And then we do have the pleasure of presenting Jessica Watson from Point North Studio, who is with us today. She will be presenting along with Envision Creative Art, Ayisha Thompson, who's also here with us. And then towards the end, we will have a section for BCR resources, opportunities, really just questions about our program. So after the presenters speak, both of them, we will allow 10 minutes for questions on their presentations. And then I will, after that, we'll take questions for BCL questions. Okay, so Initiate Prosperity, as mentioned, Initiate Prosperity is essentially just our third-party educational platform with calculators, templates, videos, and guides. Let me just go ahead and show you guys the platform. Okay, so this is what you would see. Initiate Prosperity, they do a really good job of organizing these topics. There's 4 topics, whether it's startups, money, marketing, and management. These are all modules. And if you are a client of BCL, we typically utilize this for you to train on your own time. And another reason why we really highlight this resource is because there's a lot of other resources that's being offered or that you have to pay for, but this is all free. So there's videos, calculators, and guides and templates. And then today, you'll get a chance to see how you can utilize it. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Ayisha Thompson, owner of Envision Creative Art. Envision Creative Art is a boutique digital marketing and graphic design firm dedicated to empowering entrepreneurs, small businesses, nonprofits, and government agencies. They specialize in elevating brand identities, enhancing consumer engagement, and creating memorable experiences. I will allow Ayisha to take the stage. And where's that? Okay.
And if I can just interrupt for 1 minute and say anyone who is not speaking to please mute their mic, that would be helpful for the rest of us. Thanks.
Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. How's it going? Yes. Just want to confirm, can I get a thumbs up if you can see my screen? Thumbs up. All right. Just want to make sure we're doing good from a technical standpoint. Can you see my mouse moving on the screen? Thumbs up? No? Are you seeing my notes page?
Yes.
Yeah,
All
we can
right,
see the
no
notes
problem.
page.
Yes.
Just a second. Let's swap it out. And then how's that? Can we see it moving here?
Yes,
Perfect.
we can see it.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much. All right, so Atsuko, thank you so much for that awesome introduction. Happy New Year to everyone. I'm sure as business owners and professionals, if you haven't already listed out your goals, you're in the process of doing that. So today we're going to be talking about the amazing one-page marketing plan that's offered by Initiative Prosperity. So you did a great job. I don't have to share anything else. We are brand marketing, digital marketing, and graphic design. So let's jump right into the Initiate Prosperity one-page marketing plan. All right, so everyone is familiar with a business plan. You've either done it when you were thinking about starting your business, or at some point you were told that this is something that you have to do. It's a guide, it's a roadmap. It's something that can ultimately help you on the journey to success. Same with marketing. As small business owners, a lot of times we're juggling so many hats. We're doing the social media, the accounting, operations, and thinking that, oh my goodness, now I have to add a marketing plan to my list can be a lot. But thanks to Initiate Prosperity, it makes it easy with this one-page marketing plan. So let's dive deep and talk more about it. So you're thinking probably, what is the value of a marketing plan? Why is it important? The first thing is a marketing plan helps to align with your strategies of your overall business objectives. So when you think of a marketing plan, you can approach it in two different ways. One in like a general, broader way. For instance, maybe you're a new brand, new to your industry, and you're looking to just increase your brand's awareness. So you'd like to create some marketing just overall to promote your brand. Or you may have been in business for a really long time. People are familiar with your brand, and you're more so now offering a new product or service that you need to build some momentum and gain some traction. So you have the flexibility to develop a marketing plan based on where you are and what you're trying to achieve. So the first thing is definitely make sure that what that is that you're trying to achieve aligns with your overall business objectives, right? It's important to have this marketing plan because it will help you identify your key target audiences to focus your marketing efforts. And I know most of us are like, oh, we know who our target audience is, we're familiar, but we're gonna dig a little bit deeper in that and talk about what that looks like and why it's so crucial when you're developing your marketing plan. Other important reasons why you should have this marketing plan is it ensures efficient use of resources, right? When it comes to strategies and really trying to maximize the return on your investment when you're investing time, energy, and all of that. And finally, it just helps provide clarity for decision making. So the first step in building out this one-page marketing plan is to identify your target customer, your target audience, your consumers. Who are you trying to reach? Again, the first thing to think about is what is the goal of this marketing plan? Is it brand awareness? Is to promote a particular sale or service, product, get folks on my website, increase followers? And who are these people that I'm talking to? One deeper step that we can take is to develop a buyer persona. How many of you in the room already have taken the time to build out your buyer persona for your business? you know, their pain points, their likes, their desires, things of that nature. The reason why this is so important is because when you're thinking of building marketing messages and developing marketing campaigns, you want to incorporate elements and speak to things that will resonate with this target audience. So the more that you can build on who this individual, this ideal person is the more you can then speak specifically to them. And even if you're in an industry where you may have multiple people or multiple different groups that you can serve, use market segmentation. It's okay to have multiple buyer personas, right? So this is a crucial aspect in just building out that marketing plan, is developing your buyer personas. Next, you want to take the time to highlight what makes your business unique and what makes you stand out from your competitors. So this is this portion of the one-page marketing plan. It starts with where people are even finding you. Are you primarily online? Do you have a social media? Do you have a social media presence? Is it something where they can find you through a referral partner, or maybe you have a brick and mortar and a retail shop? So identifying the ways in which people can connect with your brand and find you, and then also do your due diligence and do some market research. See what the competitors are doing. See how you stand out uniquely. Maybe it's pricing, accessibility, your story, or your client experience. Ultimately, the goal is to find your brand sweet spot. Once you have clarity on what that is, what makes you unique, then you're going to incorporate that in the marketing plan, because ultimately that's going to influence your messages. So then we're going to move into the next section of the one-page marketing plan, which is to create a solid strategy. So when creating a solid strategy, we need to make sure that we're defining clear goals and objectives. Everybody is familiar with with SMART goals, right? Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Are you guys already incorporating that in your marketing plans and yeah, I see some head nods, so that's good. Be as specific as possible. So for example, let's do like a general broad goal. The goal is to create a marketing campaign that increases sales by 25%. How can we break this down? So specific, it will be maybe increase overall sales of revenue in all product lines. Measurable, to track your sales performance using monthly revenue reports, compare them to last year, taking a look at the benchmarks. Achievable, implement a targeted marketing campaign, or maybe even introduce a referral program, train your team on that program. How can it be relevant, right? Assign it to your overall company strategic goals. And time bound, achieve this 25% increase of sales by the end of Q4 in 2025. So even with this particular goal that I'm sharing, it's very broad. But when you're thinking of marketing, though at points it may seem a bit much or it can come off intimidating, be as specific as possible. So I just want to open up the floor. If you can just drop in the chat, share with us like some of, at least one marketing goal that you have for 2025. What's in the pipeline? What are you thinking? What are you trying to achieve? I'd like to hear from you. As you do that, just for the sake of time, I'm going to just keep moving on. But once we get to questions, we can kind of talk more about it, if that's okay. Yeah? All right. So I used the example, the marketing goal to just create a campaign to increase sales by 25%. Let's look at some of the strategies that we could possibly do. We could, one, create a targeted online advertising campaign using a platform like Google Ads or Facebook Ads, and create high conversion copy and visuals to pair with that campaign. Real quick tip. I'm sure everybody's familiar with ChatGPT at this point, right? So what you can do if you need support with creating like ad copy for our marketing campaign is record yourself talking about what it is that you're doing and who you're serving, right? What solution you offer, what pain point that you can, have a solution to, and just kind of talk about it. Talk about the audience, that specific target audience and things of that nature. Once you've recorded that, then transcribe it. Take what you've transcribed and drop it into ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to create high conversion copy or messaging to support the ads, and you can kind of talk about it a little bit more. But the reason why you want to do the first portion of actually recording it is because it makes it really personal and specific to you and your audience versus just dropping something into ChatGPT and having them spit it out. Make sense? Because at this point, because things are so competitive, we want to make it as personalized as possible. And we would like to create messaging that when our target audience sees it, it connects with them right away, right? Another example is a loyalty program. Just create a loyalty program and create incentives for your customer. Your strategies can be anything. These are just examples to kind of get the wheels turning for you to think about. There's no right or wrong. So think about, meet with your team. If you're a team of one, brainstorm on what strategies will work for you. Other things to think about is ask yourself these questions: how you will achieve these goals when it comes to these strategies, and create a sustainable competitive advantage, right? So invest in customer insights, learn the customer, know what they like, know what's working. A lot of times, especially if we are really passionate about what we do, we're so focused on the service and how great it is that we lead with that, and we don't really think about, okay, what is it that they really want from us? They being the client or the customer. So really invest in insights, right? Make sure that you are enhancing with the quality and the service that you offer, and leverage technology. Another question to ask yourself is, what will you choose to focus on to really make sure that your brand is standing out? This is where you can incorporate some of your brand stories, your values, customer experiences, and just innovative offerings. So again, a lot to digest in a little time, but all these elements are really beneficial in making sure that you're creating really strong and solid strategies to build campaigns that you can really see the return on your investment. So that takes us to the last portion of the marketing plan, the activities, what to do to actually make it happen. Identify your channels and your online tactics. When I say identify your channels, where are people showing up and really engaging with you? So for example, say for instance, we were to create a marketing plan or build a campaign out for social media. Is your purpose or is your goal to just put it all out? So you're on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Thread, or are you paying attention to where people are engaging with you most? Are people really liking, commenting, viewing your content, maybe on Instagram? So really dig deep and focus on there. There's nothing wrong with spreading out your presence so that you are securing your brand on all the platforms, but really pay attention to what's working most. For someone else, it may be email marketing, right? People are opening the emails, they're clicking the links on it. Dig deep, take the time and invest in building out that channel because it's working. So pay attention to the numbers and determine what works for you. With marketing, there's always budget. Especially with marketing, what I've noticed even working, in the corporate America in the past is marketing usually is the first budget to be cut or the first area to get rid of. So, and that's because a lot of times people don't really fully understand how valuable marketing is, or they're not sure the right metrics or measuring tactics to use to really be able to track what their efforts and what they're doing in order to make sure that it's being successful. So determine your market budget, and that starts with understanding your business goals, what you're trying to achieve. I know I've said that a few times, but it's so important. When people come and say, oh, I want to invest in social media, for what? Are you trying to grow followers? Are you trying to get people to your website? Are you trying to sell a specific product? Be specific as possible and understand what those goals are, right? A common approach is to allocate 5 to 10% of your gross revenue to your marketing. So 5% if, maybe you already have a presence and you're more so just looking to nurture your audience and maintain. 10% if you want to take a more aggressive approach, maybe you're a growth-focused business or you're looking to enter new markets or really make a strong presence. So that's a rule of thumb that you can use to kind of say, okay, well, I don't know what budget to start with. Start there. But also keep in mind your industry. So for example, if you're in a highly competitive industry, like say for instance, tech or retail, something like that, you may have to spend a little bit more in marketing versus someone where they're in more so of a niche industry and it's easier for them to get the attention of the target audience, right? So there's so many different elements to keep in mind. Evaluate them and see what works for you. And finally, measure, adapt, and plan as necessary. So what that means is with marketing, put everything out there, but make sure you're tracking it. Use the analytics, access the reports, whether you're using Meta for Facebook and Instagram or LinkedIn. All of them, even if it's on a free subscription level, they give you access to some analytics on your website. See what's working, what pages are performing, your bounce rate, and things of that nature. So I know I'm coming at time, but I just want to do a real quick recap of what we covered, right? So what do you need in order to successfully complete this one-page marketing plan? The first thing you need to think about is really defining your target customers and understanding their needs, right? Going beyond what we have to offer and really thinking how this can offer value to our customers. Establish that unique value proposition. What makes you stand out? What's that secret sauce? What's your brand sweet spot? Set specific, measurable, and achievable goals and objectives. Break it down. Break it down as much as possible because it's easier than to then take it one step at a time. Create solid strategies. And then identify the best channels and tactics to reach your audience. Again, if you're a small business, it's a lot. So instead of trying to cover everything, focus on what's working. Determine your budget, and then always be able to measure and adapt your plan regularly. And ultimately, by implementing those 7 tips, you can easily create a marketing plan that works for you, that you can track your return on investment, and you can make sure that it's working. Right? So I'm going to stop there. I'll just put this last page up for contact information just in case you have any questions. I know we'll wait to the end to do that. But yes, thank you so much. And I hope this was valuable.
Thank you so much, Ayisha. I know it can definitely be challenging to put all of that information and condense it into 20 minutes. I already spoke to Ayisha. We will be able to send you guys the presentation. So you guys can email me for that. But without further ado, I'd like to present our second guest, Jessica Watson. Give me 1 second. Let me in here. So Jessica owns Point North Studio. Point North helps clients define and shape their brands through powerful visuals and storytelling. With 15 plus years of experience, they understand what it truly takes to drive brand loyalty and conversations. It's not about chasing the latest trends, it's about the passions behind your work and the meaningful connections you build with the people you serve. Let me go ahead and give her access to share.
Thank you so much for that introduction. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. All right, so so in similar capacity, thumbs up if you can see my screen. Wonderful, thank you so much. And now I'm gonna turn it into a official slideshow. And so if I can get another thumbs up that is still showing up for you and didn't disappear into a dark abyss. Wonderful. Hi, everyone. My name is Jessica. I am the CEO and creative director of Points North. We are a creative services studio based in downtown Baltimore, and we believe that good design can change the world. So we challenge the status quo to create brands and stories that matter. And we do that by working with a lot of great companies, small businesses, and organizations. Today, we're going to talk about knowing your audience and why defining your target market is key. It's key and foundational to any of the creative and marketing work that you do. So why would we even want to define our target audience? Well, it's a good way to figure out where you want to focus your marketing dollars and resources effectively. It creates tailored messaging that resonates. So it's important for you to be able to think about your business or your product or service and create and craft messages that actually appeal to the person that you want to buy, as opposed to creating a message that's overarching for everyone. And it also improves product development and customer experience. So businesses that use targeted marketing strategies see a 56% higher return on investment compared to those that don't. That is from HubSpot, and they are a digital marketing platform. And basically, it's like if you do this homework in the beginning, then you will be saving yourself a lot of trouble and a lot of money in the long run. Okay, so it all starts with a problem. Identifying the main pain points of that your customers face is incredibly important. So as a business owner, you can say, well, hey, I sell beauty products, or I make really great smoothies. But what problem is that solving for the person that's on the receiving end? Are they someone that maybe doesn't have time to invest in a long beauty routine in the morning, so they need a quick product? Are they someone who is on the go, so maybe they can't make their own smoothie at home, so they need to stop by your place to be able to find a really great smoothie? So you have to focus and think about your products or services in different ways. We know that you put a lot of energy and thought into crafting your the services and the products that you bring into the world, but when you're talking about them, a person needs to hear that those identifying characteristics that directly relate to the problem that they have. So here are some samples of problems and solutions, just to kind of get you into that headspace of how you should be talking about your product and your service and your business. So a problem is a customer is struggling to find healthy, convenient meal options on busy days. Let me tell you something. We have all been there. I totally get it. So if I'm not trying to go to McDonald's, no shade to McDonald's, I love those fries, but a solution is that if you're a business that has a healthy meal option, then your solution is offering quick, nutritious, grab-and-go meals that fit a busy lifestyle. Another example of a problem, and individuals feel overwhelmed starting a fitness routine or staying consistent. Hello, it's January. All of us are very familiar with creating that resolution about, like, I want to go to this class, I want to do all these things. And then it's really tough to keep that resolution and stay consistent over time. So maybe as a small business owner that's a gym, your solution is offering beginner-friendly classes, personalized training, and community support. That's your solution. A third example is, as a problem, homeowners don't have the time or expertise to maintain their homes properly. I know when something breaks in my home, I'm like, I don't know. Google, help me out. But a solution, if you are a service provider within that industry, then you provide reliable, affordable, and timely services with an emphasis on quality and convenience. So do you see how, just like by shifting the framework of how you talk about your problem, you can start to have a way of understanding how to use those words to talk about solutions? So in the Initiate Prosperity space, they have something called defining your target customer. And it is a one-page sheet, so super easy, not anything that's incredibly intimidating. But they want you to really think about, who are you talking to? And we want you to break it down by demographics. What's that person's age? What's that person's gender, location, income? What are their interests? What do they care about or not care about? How are they living? And then what pain points do they have? And how does the product or service that your business creates solve them? Identifying your target customers allows you to focus your marketing dollars and messaging on those most likely to buy from you. So already you could see that if you put a little thought and intention behind who you are talking to and how to tailor that message directly to them, you're already creating that sales funnel, pipeline, and silo that can allow you to see a greater return and interest on the content and messaging that you're putting out there. Okay, so sorting customers is like sorting rocks. And you heard me say that. I know that sounds weird. And I promise you, at some point, like next week, you're going to go see a rock somewhere on the ground and you're going to think about customer personas. And that's exactly what I want to have happen. This is the best metaphor that I can think of for how to give you a brief introduction into thinking about your customer personas. So I'm hoping that you can hear this. If you can't, somebody let me know.
Personas are representations of smaller segments of your target audience that exhibit similar behaviors and goals in relation to your organization's product or service. Now, the most confusing part about creating personas is understanding just exactly how you find these meaningful segments of customers in order to represent them as personas. Now, the process is all about identifying and honing in on those attributes that impact the experience. Then, find the big trends and patterns among these. So what I want to do is illustrate this process of finding meaningful segments using something that's a lot easier to understand. Rocks. Creating personas is like sorting rocks. Now this is rock tumbler. It's meant to take rocks and polish them into smooth and attractive collectible stones. Let's imagine we're on the product team for Rock Tumbler, and we're trying to understand the types of rocks that will be tumbled, so we know just exactly how to design Rock Tumbler to do its job best. I also have a sample of rocks here to analyze. We need to determine what attributes about these rocks are important for the design of Rock Tumbler. So some of these attributes might be things like size, smoothness, porousness, color, and softness. We need to analyze this sample of rocks for each one of those attributes and see if we can find any correlation between the attributes or patterns that give us some clear segments of rock types to design for. One easy way to do this is to make a grid. Then take the attributes you're interested in and label each rock under each attribute. So for example, this rock right here is medium in size. It's not very smooth. It's quite bumpy, actually. It's really porous. It's fairly soft, and it's medium in color. This one right here is large, dark in color. It's very smooth, not very porous, and not very soft. And lastly, this one right here is pretty small. It's smooth. It's really light in color, and it's not porous and not soft. So we'll fill out this grid and look at each rock in our sample and look for rocks that have similarities across all of these attributes. So if we look at our sample of rocks, we can see 3 pretty clear segments emerging from them. We have our big, darker, smooth, hard rocks here. Here we have the smaller, light in color, smooth rocks that aren't very porous, but are very hard. And then over here, we have our medium colored, bumpy, porous, soft rocks. The same process applies when you're looking for segments within people. It's just not as easy to see because we can't see people's attributes. So define what your research questions are. You may be looking at things like goals, priorities, mindsets, and research a sample of your customers. 8 to 12 people is enough. Analyze these key attributes among these customers that might impact how they use your product. Then look for patterns and similarities across these attributes. Once you find your segments, you can create your persona, which is a single document that communicates these attributes and illustrates what makes each segment unique.
All right, so now that you've seen how someone might sort the similarities of an object like rocks to group them into categories for how they might market to them, we're going to take that same analogy and apply it to people. Okay, so defining your target customers. I love to go to like a stock website. A free one is unsplash.com, and I find images of who I think this person is. It's one thing to be like, oh, this person is 43 and maybe they live somewhere in the city, but you have to get so much more specific than that. So I prefer to go ahead and give that person a photo and give them a name. And then I like to go a little bit deeper into where exactly they live in the city, because where they live is going to impact their problems, their wishes, some of their frustrations and their passions as well. So as you can see, I have 4 different primary personas that I'm looking at. And for each of those, we have a name, an age, a neighborhood, and a little bit about that person. So you can think about, like, is this person married? Do they have kids? Are they single? Are they a student? Are they working full time? Do they get their information mostly by using a cell phone? If so, then social media is going to be your best bet for marketing to them. Or are they someone that doesn't have access to a computer on a regular basis? If so, social media is not going to be a good way for you to attract them to learn about your business. So we're going to talk a little bit more about Crystal. Crystal is 20 years old. She lives in Station North neighborhood in Baltimore. She moved to the city for college. She's studying to be a nurse, and she works part-time in a local cafe. She's always on the go. I know what that's like, and never seems like she has enough time to get all the things done that she needs to get done. Now, if you refer back to that 1-page document, it broke down the persona into some different categories of information that you have to fill out for each person. And that is going to be along the lines of interests, behavior, pain points, and goals. So you kind of have to get into the mind of your consumer and think about what they might be interested in, what those behaviors are, what those pain points are, and what those goals are. Now, the great thing is that you don't have to guess with any of this information. Just as it has been referenced already, ChatGPT is available to you, as well as Wikipedia and several other resources where you can dive deep for free and map out who this person is. Crystal loves music, she's active, she's spontaneous, but she's also pressed for time and eating on the run. Her pain points are that she doesn't like to cook. I mean, in college, I had ramen noodles most of the time, so I get it. And she also was on a limited budget. Her behaviors is that she's a heavy cell phone user. She also is a heavy social media user, and she sometimes buys on impulse. Her goals is that she wants things that are no fuss, no wait, affordable, and good food. And she also loves a fun and relaxed atmosphere. So if you know these things about this particular persona, and that there's a grouping of people like Crystal who you were trying to reach out to, this information is going to be incredibly helpful in figuring out how you might market to this kind of person. So with the 1-pager sheet that Initiate has, they ask that you do at least 3 of these personas. I think 3 to 5 is wonderful. And it just helps you to kind of group who are my different target audiences. And then once I know who those are, how can I develop marketing, campaigns, imagery, etc., that's going to reach and attract that particular kind of person. So there are some common pitfalls here. Don't rely on assumptions instead of going to the sources and getting the data to support how you are categorizing your different personas. And then also don't define an audience that's too broad. It's not all 20-somethings that are in Baltimore City. It's a subsegment of 20-year-olds who are attending a particular college in a particular neighborhood that are passing by your shop on their way to get to class. And then don't ignore feedback or evolving trends. So I think that it's important to always think of your business and your brand as a living and breathing thing. That means that you are not set in stone, and that you have to be able to grow and evolve as things are growing and evolving around you. So like, for example, you see things happening where we are potentially losing TikTok, and you may have to think like, is that the best platform for me to be putting my energy into? Furthermore, you see that there's a lot of noise happening on social media, and a lot of people immediately think, well, if I just do more and put more of that out there, then that's going to get me seen, and that is not always the case. So putting your personas to work. Your personas can guide your marketing campaigns, your content creation, and product development. So let's look back at Crystal real quick. Our college student who's learning to become a nurse and also has no time for homemade healthy meals. And your solution as a business owner is that you can provide quick, nutritious options that she can grab on the go. So your core message for the Crystals of the world is to fuel your busy day with healthy meals in minutes. You want to hit that target if we need something quick, but we need it to be healthy. A potential tagline might be fast, fresh, and fit for your life. Marketing channels would be Instagram. We learned that she is a heavy cell phone user and a heavy social media user. So running a targeted ad for your neighborhood that features delicious food images would be a great way to go. Also having an email campaign that highlights your ability to accept pre-orders satisfies that need of someone being able to grab something quick and on the go. And then the engagement that we're looking for, because there's no point in doing any of this if you don't have an end goal in mind, is that Crystal sees that ad and places her lunch order with you. So your audience is your key to growth, and taking the time to go through that one-page document and fill out those particular segments about each of your audiences will be essential and foundational in how you build your marketing for your company. You, just to summarize, have to understand their pain points and think about what it is to walk a mile in their shoes. You can build those personas based on real data, and then you align your strategies for the success markers that you have. Again, my name is Jessica Watson. I'm the CEO and Creative Director of Points North. I have 2 QR codes that you can put your phone up to. One is to check out our website, and the other is to book a free consultation. Thank you so much for your time and for having me here. I really appreciate it.
So much, Jessica. Free. I just want to reiterate that free consultation. I would definitely go ahead and sign up for that. So in the interest of time, I also want to just open up the floor for any questions. Now, this is the second time that we're doing this, and it always interests me that entrepreneurs are shy about asking questions about their business. So if you're a shy person, I ask that you put your questions in the chat so that way you can remain anonymous and we'll do our best to answer the questions in the chat. But I also want to open up the floor for everyone, or anyone, I should say, who has any questions, and I'll allow Jessica and Ayisha to answer. The stage is yours. Anyone can ask their questions.
Suko, this is Sean. I want to throw a question out there. Are we allowed to ask questions if we're from BCL?
Yes, I would hope so.
All right. So we work with a lot, and Ayisha and Jessica, thank you so much. That was very helpful. So we work with a lot of clients that are in the startup phase. And Ayisha, you mentioned 8 to 10% of your budget. So if a client is a startup, what do they use? Now, I was always told, and I don't know if it's true, that a lot of times when you're figuring out your marketing budget, whatever you think you need, double it and double it again, and then you're probably still a little short. How does a startup company figure out if they don't have any revenue? So how do they really kind of get an idea of how much that they need?
That's a good question. If you're a startup and you have no revenue, you have 2 options. You may have some form of, you still may have a budget or some form of access to financing, right? That you can then allocate maybe a portion or percentage of that. Yeah, they say when you're thinking of marketing to double it and, continue to double it. But my recommendation, especially from my experience when I first started out, is to start organically. So it may not necessarily be investing in paid advertising right away, but build relationships. Partner with other people where maybe you guys can collaborate on a deal so that you get access and exposure to their network and their following, right? Especially if you're really just starting out and have absolutely no revenue, consider the option of bartering. right? Work with other people and see how you can support them with your services in return to be able to get some exposure, maybe feature some form of, you know, placement and whether ad or newsletter. So just use organic resources without having the pressure of feeling like, oh, I have to have this certain number of I need this certain dollar number financially in order to now turn around and invest in marketing. Because when you really think about it and you just started out, do you really want to do that? You want to take the little that you have and focus on there? It just all depends on your industry too, right? You still have to factor in website, all of that thing. So let me stop there because I can go on and on, but hopefully that answers your question.
Thank you.
I just would like to make a comment about the coming up with your customer profile. I've often had clients worry that if they're talking about a customer profile, they're eliminating, oops, didn't mean to be way down there. They're eliminating too many people. They're worried that, you know, they're not going to reach other people that could buy from them. And I think it's just critical to understand that targeted marketing is just that. You're not saying you're not going to sell to anybody else. You're just spending your money most effectively on the people most likely to buy. And I think that's important clarification because a lot of people fret over that. And
Yes.
also, Sean, I just got on the internet and looked to see how much you should spend on your marketing budget. And experts go anywhere from 7% to 30%. I think Ayisha was right. I think more than anything, it just depends on your industry. You know, there are some businesses that are business to business. You know, their customers are other businesses. So they're not going to market on social media or a lot of places that are going to attract consumers because they really need to get in front of other businesses. And in those cases, they might be most effective setting up meetings and, you know, knocking on doors. So I think it just depends a lot on what your business is and, you know, looking at your bottom line, who do you think you're going to sell the most to and how are you going to reach them? And then I will be quiet too. That wasn't a question, sorry.
Thank you. So there's a question in the chat. Someone is asking what tools, and this is a question to the both of you, what tools would you utilize to automate your the marketing experience to ensure that they are leaving no stone unturned?
Where's automate the marketing so they're leaving no stuff.
You want to start or you want me to go?
You can go ahead and start.
So as far as tools for small business owners to automate their marketing experience, I'd say from an email marketing aspect, MailChimp. You can start for free. I believe with MailChimp, you can have, I don't know if they changed it, but I think the last time I checked was like 500 contacts for free. So a great place to start with digital marketing. Another tool that you can use is something like Linktree. That's another free tool that you can ultimately add to your profile, your social media profile, have different, whether it's, let me not say lead magnets, but have different valuable resources that you can then ultimately share with the customer so that you can capture their information. That's a big challenge sometimes with social media is that we think, especially with TikTok going away, we think, oh, we have all these great followers, but then are we connecting with them outside of the platform, right? So Linktree is a great tool to do that. Of course, ChatGPT is another great tool to use to just not necessarily automate, but to make things a lot more efficient for you. Automate your social media. You can even use Meta, that's free, for Facebook and Instagram to pre-schedule your posts. And I'll stop there because Jessica, I'm sure you have a ton that you can also add.
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of people just look at MailChimp as like, that's where my newsletter is from. But MailChimp also allows you to create custom URLs and landing pages to get people to sign up. And so I think that when you think about like your marketing, I want you to think about it from like touch points that people have with your business, and how do you make those memorable or pleasant so that that automatically gets connected back to your brand. So when I sign up for a newsletter, I love to receive an automated message that's personalized, that maybe is telling me more about that business, that's thanking me, that's linking me to a resource. When I go to a business's social media page, like let's take Instagram, for example, you can now have pinned posts on Instagram. So you can put your most relevant information up at the top. You can now also have featured stories on your business pages. So that means that like information like about us, contact us, our latest sale, et cetera, can be top, front, and center. So someone sees that as soon as you get on your business page. Also, like we all have personal Instagram accounts, and I want to tell you, there's really no reason to just be on social media to just share your life. Like, don't feel any kind of shade or shame around promoting that business as well and driving people to your business page by using your personal account. That's a part of who you are as well. And I love when people are stepping up and standing behind the work that they're doing. And I could see a little bit more into the business side and the hustle side of what they have going on. So there are a lot of free things you can leverage that are already out there and your existing audience as well. If you don't ask, then you will never know. And so maybe just by putting something out there, someone's going to know somebody that knows somebody that sends them directly to your business profile to learn more about you.
Yes, thank you so much. So now that we're at the end, yesterday, if anyone came to this amazing Coffee with Capital event, the main question was about this grant situation that we have launching on February 3rd. And because so many people are already asking about it, I wanted to give everyone the opportunity to introduce Sean Christosum, who's going to be the person of contact. I know you have questions, so I don't even want to say if you have any questions, but Sean, maybe some words about the program, and then we can get into questions.
No, absolutely. And thank you, Suko. Thank you, both Jessica and Ayisha, and even for yesterday. One of the things our CEO Watson said was that, talking about BCL, but what people miss is that, as she said, it's loans plus, capital plus. And by that, part of what we do is just a community. It's not only the folks here, it's Don, it's Ulrich, it's Jessica, it's all the folks that have contacts and access to information when we're looking at your loans, when we do TA and speak, just so you guys know what I do. I am the small business coach and technical assistance. We don't like to use TA because people think it means computers. But what I do along with Suko is we pull together the business plans, the projections for clients to make sure that the package is ready to bring to our loan officers. We direct them towards other potential sources of financing if it's not something that we can do. So it's really, to do that, we really rely on a community of our loan officers and everyone here who are really very well plugged in, our board members, into the ecosystem that is Baltimore and the surrounding counties. So that's really part of what you're getting when you come to BCL. People think loan, and that's in our name, but it's really the whole ecosystem that you get access to that helps you as an entrepreneur figure certain things out. It's things like this that we offer here. It's the Coffee with Capital. So I just want to talk about that. So getting to what Suko asked me to talk about is that on February 3rd, we are launching our early stage investment small business grant in conjunction with Fulton Bank. It will be running for 30 days. It's not a first come, first serve. As long as you apply within then, the grants are going to be 10,000 each, 22 grants. And we will be selecting businesses to receive those grants. After the selection process, we will meet with each of the individual businesses, schedule times for ongoing TA. We will use Initiate Prosperity as one of the prime tools for individuals to do it. And there will be some requirements that we have, of course, for the grant. But the real goal of the grant is to help businesses in that very early stage We as BCL, we can step in oftentimes and work with many early stage businesses, but sometimes there are companies that we can't. Some of those companies are not yet able to borrow, but what they do need is grant funds. Sometimes we run into situations where clients need more capital to really get them to the point where we can help them or to really get started along the way, and so then we can step in. So we are excited that Fulton is teaming or partnering with us, and it'll allow us to help some businesses that in the past, we've said, hey, we need you to find some more capital or look for some more capital before we can work with you in terms of the lending. Now, we're always available to work on the TA side. And that's something other people miss. You don't have to borrow from us to benefit from the technical assistance, the small business coaching. That's all available, whether you borrow from us or not. So having said that, I'll just open the floor up for a handful of minutes if there are any questions about the grant specifically. Again, it will not be available till the 3rd, so don't call us. You go on our website. You can check out our website. Lots of good information. But it will not be live until February 3rd, that Monday. You've got a quiet group here, Suko.
It wasn't like this yesterday. Okay. Do you want to talk a little bit about the application itself, just like what's going to be required? If there's no
Sure.
questions, I think that is definitely something that I would be interested in.
All right, absolutely. Well, a couple things. First of all, it's open to businesses with 0 to 200,000 in revenue. So if you're over 200,000, then you're too big, because again, we're looking at early stage here. We definitely need 2023 personal tax returns, 2023 and 24 profit and loss statements, a W-9. The application will have a link to a W-9 form, so you don't have to go searching for one, and then a copy of the owner's driver's license. And also the business must be in good standing with the state. So if the personal property tax is not paid, you have to get that paid because the business has to be in good standing to be eligible for the grant. And it also must be a for-profit business. This is not open to nonprofits.
Thank you, Sean. If there is not any other questions, then
Wait, I see. Is that Faye?
I have a quick question, guys.
Yeah,
Yes.
go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Christian, I put something in the chat because I wasn't in attendance yesterday. I didn't know about this meeting until today.
Mhm.
So I was wondering if how I could get the grant information. I think you indicated that the website wouldn't be up. So I put my email there so you could send it to me directly. Is that okay? Is that appropriate?
Oh yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it will be available on our website, on the Baltimore Community Lending website on the 3rd. So all you need to do is go on our website. So our website.
Can you give me that URL, because I don't have the website?
Yeah, Suko, can you just type our URL in there
I'll
for
drop
her?
the website on there.
Absolutely. So yeah, just go to and I recommend going to our website. You can find out more about us as a CDFI and get more information. But yeah, it won't be on the website until the 3rd. And I see Jessica's hand up. Jessica, go ahead and introduce yourself, Jessica.
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Jessica Brockington. I am the marketing officer for Baltimore Community Lending. So this was really, really good. Both of you guys did amazing. So I have a question, right? So one of my marketing goals, I know you all said like you're a team of one. I'm a team of one, but the whole team helps out in marketing. So shout out to the teamwork. But one of our goals for marketing is to increase small business and real estate leads by 10%. And so when looking at, like your target audience and things of that nature, I'm trying to figure out like the messaging to basically go behind that to streamline, to actually get to the people that we're looking at. And so I just wanted to kind of figure out, is that me going to the real estate team and the small business team and saying, hey, let me send me, reports of current clients and past clients to figure out, who they are? Or is that, putting out like a community needs assessment, like, to all of our stakeholders and followers and things of that nature to figure out, who they are on that end, so that's my question. Yeah.
Hey, Jessica. So I like the idea of putting out, you said, a community needs assessment.
Yeah.
And that way you can actually get input from people who are already engaged and following and seeing what you're doing and have a better understanding of their specific needs. Of course, as it relates to those in those particular industries, and then you can build around that.
Mm-hmm.
I also like the idea of you talking to some of the past folks you've worked with, though. So it might be a combination of both, because I'd be curious to know what their experience was, and if you met their needs or if they needed something else. And just getting that candid feedback can be incredibly helpful for how you craft that message and how you send it out into the world going forward for the new people you bring in. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks. Sounds like I'm doing both. All right.
Yeah, I think I would be so curious to understand the experience folks have with you, and then
Yeah.
how it can feed into the new thing that you're doing and what you might change or
Yeah.
adjust.
I get that. Thanks.
Suko, I don't know if there's any other questions. I do have another question for Jessica and Ayisha. And if other folks don't ask them, I'll ask them, because we work with clients, and a lot of our clients, when they come as startups, they all think that they're going to have a flood of business, and then they're always shocked sometimes that phone's not ringing. I'm not getting those calls. But here's a question I have. We work with clients, and when we have them do their SWOT analyses, or we have them look at their business plan, we oftentimes encourage them to do, primary research on their competitors. Can you just talk about how your marketing, I know we talk about looking at our customers, but can your marketing also be based on your primary or secondary research of your competitors to maybe see where to pivot or where to emphasize something that they're not doing that you hadn't thought about doing? How can you use marketing based on information that you know about your competitors, not just your customers?
Yeah.
And that's just, go ahead.
Oh, no, I think that's a really great question, because you're not operating in a silo. And like, we did all this work around defining who your customer persona is, and you have to imagine that they're getting hit with multiple advertisements from many different businesses and that are vying for their dollar. So it is important to look at what your competitors are doing, and make sure that you're standing out, make sure that your message is a little bit different, but also taking from the things that are working well, if that makes sense. So if you notice, like, wow, this messaging really resonates, I want to do something that's very similar, just in terms of like the vibe or the feel, etc. But I want to do it to this audience, or I want to do it to this segment instead. There's nothing new under the sun. And so it's just incredibly valuable to know what's happening in the marketplace around you, so that what you're crafting is built from that experience and that research, but also the unique component, the unique competitive advantage that you do in the way that you do that no one else does.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree with Jessica. And just to add to that, market research is important to kind of determine where they are, so then you can know what to do when it comes to your products and services. You can use it as a gauge to see where you are and what to do. So to be more specific, for instance, in opposed to kind of just looking at the competitor and seeing what they're offering, look at it like Jessica said, and kind of pull the vibe. Okay, I like how they marketed this. I like this particular ad, or, this messaging. But then also look at how people are interacting with the competitor. What are people saying in the comments? What are some pain points that they're talking about? Maybe, some feedback is, oh, I love what they do, but the prices are so high. So maybe then you can then use that as your differentiator, that we can exceed oh, we can offer that at an affordable rate. So just kind of using that research to craft and mold how you're ultimately positioning yourself to stand out.
No, absolutely. Before
And
I saw
I seen Minyana's hand.
Minyana's hand was up. Yeah, I saw that too. Minyana.
Hi, thank you guys so much for putting this together. My question is about the grant application. Is it so February 3rd, it'll be live on the website. Is it are there any other requirements, like any additional classes or meetings that we would need to attend to be eligible?
No, very good question. No other classes. You simply go online. It's a pretty straightforward form. You attach any of the required documents, and then you hit submit, and that's it. And then we gather all the information. We have a team of folks that will make the assessment, and then we'll notify the individuals who've been selected. So there's no other meetings. There's no pre-meetings you have to attend. Just on the 3rd. Go online or sometime between February 3rd and March 3rd. Go online, fill out the application, and hit submit. And then, like I said, those who are successful will be notified, and then we will have a kickoff meeting for those individuals after that. So no other meetings need to be attended.
Okay, great seeing y'all yesterday.
Oh yeah, great seeing you out there too. We had a fantastic time.
I have a question. So what documentation, if I'm looking for a grant, what documentation would be needed to be submitted for the application? Like what document should I start getting ready? So by February 3rd, I am all set.
Well, the one, and this, Suko, most folks, we're talking about, of course, your 2023 personal tax returns, but definitely the big one is the 2024 P&L. A lot of clients, we're in January, a lot of our business owners, we'll ask for profit and loss statements. And let me not just use P&L. Some of you may hear profit and loss, income statement. A lot of times they don't have that. So you should be in contact with your accountant, not just for the grant, but one of the things we tell clients, you ought to be getting your profit and loss statement, maybe 10, 15, 20 days after your month close, even if not sooner. You need to know exactly how you did that previous month. So that's one of the biggest things. If you are an existing business, getting that profit and loss statement, whether you're doing it yourself with QuickBooks, you have a bookkeeper or an accountant, you want to make sure that you're getting that information, not just for the grant that is going to be required, but also just for your own information. You've got to know what's happening in your business. And so that's absolutely critical. I see, is it Ray or Faye?
Yes, thanks. Yeah, thanks. Good afternoon. Yeah, it's Faye. Yeah. So I thought I heard you indicate before that it's for startups with zero profitability to 200K. So if you're a startup and you don't have profit share, any profits, are you still able to lend?
No. All right. So let me make sure the term is used properly. Not profits, revenue. Revenue and profits are different. So a startup,
revenue is what I meant.
So a startup will have no revenue, so they're still qualified.
They would still qualify.
Right. We didn't say profits. We said that you from zero revenue to 200,000. Zero would be a pure startup. You've not sold one widget. You've not
so
sold.
you would accept a profit and loss statement that showed no revenue?
No, great question. You wouldn't have a profit and loss. So the profit and loss would only be in terms of a business that is existing. So you couldn't submit that.
Right. So if you had a business that has been in existence,
then you would submit that.
And you would even despite the fact that there is your zero revenue.
No, I'm kind of confused.
Zero.
If you have zero revenue, you don't have a profit and loss to submit.
No, well, income then.
Income is revenue.
Right.
Yeah, so I just want to make sure, because Faye, you did say lend. So the documents that we're talking about is strictly for the grant application. Our services as far as debt financing is concerned is completely different. I just want to make the distinguishing facts.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, thanks for that clarity.
I think she's saying, hi, I'm Jacqueline. I work for BCL.
Thanks for that clarity. I
think she's saying that she has a business that has not generated funds as yet.
Right.
So
that would be
so she has a business, but she doesn't have any profit and loss to show.
right.
Is that correct?
Yes, Jacqueline, and I also, Mr. St. Louis also offered some additional layer of clarification, which is the fact that this is a grant program, Mr. Sean.
You're right.
Mr. Crystal, right. And so a grant program, the grants are being offered for organizations with 0 to 200K revenue generation.
Right.
So they could be a startup or an existing business, but for whatever reason, they have could possibly have 0 revenue.
Well, that's what a startup would be. A pure startup has 0 revenue.
Right. Okay.
Even if
Well,
you've been operational or have your business registered, we're going to look at you as a startup if you have no revenue to show.
Thank you, Ms.
Yes.
Whitley. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you, Mr. St.
That's what we're here for. We just want to
Thanks for the
answer any
clarity.
questions.
Yeah, thanks for that clarity, Right.
Yeah, and sometimes we do that, and I apologize. We sometimes speak in business or finance speak. But yeah, when we talk about a pure startup, it's something that they could either the business is just getting started or you've been starting, but you have not generated any revenue. And if you've not generated any revenue and had expenses, then you're not going to have a P&L to submit, but you can still apply for the grant. So you can still apply, you just would not submit a profit and loss because you've not generated any revenue to have any profit and loss. If you have generated revenue, then we require that you that you send in the profit and loss statement 2023 and 2024. And of course, if you've only been operating in 2024, then you won't have a 2023, and that's fine. You submit what you have based on if you've been operating, generating revenue, and so forth.
Yes. Okay. So we were definitely running over time, so I want to be respectful of people's time. So this meeting was definitely recorded. Just give me some time. I have a whole lot of emails to send to everyone. So MLK Day, I have plenty of time to sit down and organize all this. You should probably be receiving it around that time. But thank you all for joining, and just want to end this conversation. So thank you all.
Thanks, Suko. Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great evening.
Thanks so much.
Thank
Bye.
you.